Hey guys, this short devotional, we're going to talk about the wisdom of the world and why that is folly to follow. Before we get into that, if you love the content here, would you mind subscribing? It really helps us out, and we love making this content for you, so it's a win-win. Okay, we're going to jump in. Today it's from 1 Corinthians 3:18 through 20. Do not deceive yourself. If any of you think you are wise by the standards of this age, you have become fools, so that you may become wise. The wisdom of the world is foolish in God's sight. As it is written, He catches the wise in their craftiness. And again, the Lord knows the thoughts of the wise are futile. So a few things here. We may think we are wise, first off. I like to think I'm an intellectual of sorts. I like to pursue knowledge and understand things and maybe one day hope to say I'm wise, but I often find myself, while I was reading this, I was thinking, oh man, this is totally me. I am pursuing wisdom, but from the world. And that wisdom isn't always bad, it isn't always awful, but it isn't what we should seek first. We should seek first God's wisdom, because God's wisdom is foremost pure, and then it is an incredibly amazing thing that we can take hold of when we ask God for wisdom, and He can grant us that, and when we focus on that first, I think that's a big key difference. Not that wisdom of the world is always awful or it's always just not the right way to go, but it is for sure the thing that we should do after we pursue God. We need to pursue God first, and when we pursue God first and when we focus on what He has for our lives are going to go better, because when we're striving for God and we have a personal relationship with Him that's really strong. I say this a lot, but when we have a personal relationship with Him that's really strong, not that our lives will automatically suddenly become better, but I feel like in my life I've been more content, I've been more at peace, I've been less anxious, a lot of things that in my life that are affected, I think, with the relationship I have with God. And second of all, once we know that the wisdom that we need to follow is God's wisdom, we need to pursue that. And there's a few things that have helped me when I'm trying to pursue godly wisdom and what He has for our lives. Is, first of all, I think one of the biggest things is I want to read His Word. I want to understand, just like I want to understand and know the words of the world, I need to understand and know the words of God. And when I know the words of God, I can recall them in my mind and understand the wisdom and get the wisdom and understand the wisdom it has for me in the books of the Bible. And I think that's the application that we need to take from this, is that God does have the best wisdom by far, eternal pure wisdom. But if we don't seek after it, we're not getting any of that wisdom. We're not getting any of it. If we don't pray to God and ask for wisdom from Him, if we don't look in His Word and try to understand and really delve deep into what does this say, why does it say this, I need to follow this, the wisdom of God. If we don't understand it, how are we going to apply it in our lives? And really, we need to focus up and deny ourselves what we want, because I think for me, the biggest reason why I put off really reading my Bible and really understanding God's Word is because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And at the time, this few years ago, I didn't have any desire to look in God's Word really. But when I finally just decided, I need to do this, I'm not living the best life, When I finally decided to do that and I really studied His Word and read His Word and got in a relationship with Him that was incredibly strong and growing stronger every day, when you're in something like that, your life, like I said, I've become more content, I've become more at peace, I've become more like a godly man. And that, for me, is probably one of the biggest things I want to become in my life, my marriage, whatever it is with my kids, it doesn't matter. Obviously, I don't have kids right now. One day. But it's all future-proofing, man. You gotta look ahead, look for the future, prepare for the future. But really from today, sorry, getting a little off track, let's understand that the wisdom of the world isn't the best. We know that. We know it's not the best. But even if we know it subconsciously, let's be reminded of it. It's not the best. And once we know that it is God's wisdom, because it is God's wisdom, let's pursue that wholeheartedly. Because when we have God's wisdom, I think it will enrich our lives and enrich and honor Him and glorify God, which is really our end goal. Okay, thank you guys.